see a conspiracy been fooling me when I watch TV. They're manufactured views all over the news. It's giving me the blues, and it's time to choose. Starting to wake up from this sleep, from all the lies they spread that run so deep. But I will laze no more. Who are they fighting for? It isn't me. But now I see there is a new world order, but we're not invited. So much blood and murder from the drones unsighted. World War III is haunting me. I've got to find a way to save my family. The human race has lost its way. We put our trust in science, but it's us who pay. Used to be civilized, but we've been compromised. We're on a one-way train. We've got to break this chain. Starting to see that we should be free. The powers that be want a piece of me. Should I do what they say or tell them go away? What is the price for freedom? 'Cause it should reign free. The time has come to raise the bar. There'll be nowhere to hide if there's a third world war. So let your voice be heard and let your heart decide to stand and fight for freedom while you've still got time. Wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up. Stand up, stand up. Stand up, stand up. Wake up, wake up. The time has come to fight. Wake up, wake up. Don't waste another night. Stand up, stand up. What are you waiting for? Stand up, stand up. Oh, they're gonna soon be at your door. Oh, they're gonna soon be at your door. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. It's Wake Up. It's Heath Weft. The main man himself does all the music for this, which is why it's copyright free. Well, it's not copyright free. We're going to copyright it. So anybody wants to use it on the stuff, we might let some people use it. Might not. No, I don't. I can't copyright it, but I might copyright it to the channel. But anyway, that's Wake Up. It's from about 2014, which reminds me of where we're going tonight. Hopefully, I say hopefully. Our guest has not quite arrived yet, so I am just going to start fill in while he does turn up. But anyway, good evening. Welcome to Raconteurs News. It is Tuesday night. It's the 7th of June, 2022 on this lovely evening tonight. Anyway, it's a bit overcast. You know, they've done all the spraying and shit and it's gone all milky. So it's like that. It's overcast, as it always is at this time of night. Yeah, Christ back in the space wagon. Listen, I won't describe myself as Christ. I know what you mean, mate. Good evening to those people in the chat room. Good evening, Nick GB. Good evening to where are we? Earlier on, blah 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 blah. Let me go through it. I want to go. There we go. Wayne Potter, who's watching on Facebook. Ron Malcolm is in too. Paula is listening. She's in the chat room. Good evening to you. Spanish Chicken as well. Nick GB, Media Mogul. Mia Media Mogul is there as well. Paula, I've already mentioned that. Blah blah blah. Principium, hello to you. Mascara Snake, hello. Tom's Urban Explore, Matt Caddy. Good evening to Matt and to Donna as well. How's it sounding all right? Is it sounding all right, this? So South. Health Freedom UK, good evening to you, Rob, who is there. Yeah, so good evening to you, everybody. I've got our guest on tonight. Here he is. He's just arrived, just as we speak. So I'm going to pop that onto there and then stick him there. It's Bob White. Good evening, Bob. How are you, my old friend?
Hello, Jason. Yeah, fine, mate.
Yeah, good. So I was just been explaining to everybody that this is the sort of thing that when we first started, we used to cover stuff like this all the time. I mean, this show's been going nearly 7 years now, so six and a half years. So we used to cover stuff like this all the time, but this for quite a long time. Other things have taken over, obviously. You mentioned them yourself, COVID and stuff like that. They've all sort of taken over. So
distraction tactics. Yeah.
well, all these distractions. That's right. Last night, my mate, Heath, who just sang the song that we came in on, he sent me a message about Boris and this vote. I didn't even know we were having a vote of no confidence in him. I just have got that little interest in what
Yeah.
those people do. It's just ridiculous. So, Bob, why don't you tell us? Let's just tell us your story. Give us a summation. You were telling me earlier on. We had a word earlier on. It started in 2012. Just give us some sort of idea of how you got to. Not where you are now, but just let's start at the beginning and give some background on this.
Yeah, where all the trouble started. Yeah, okay, right. Yeah, we'll go back 10 years, 2012. Me and my wife, we had a nightclub in Southampton for 14 years, from 1998 to 2012. It was good business up until about 2010. And we went down from like 4 nights a week to 1 night a week. We weren't quite in the right area that the council wanted us, and the police, and they was trying to push us out basically. So I went down to 1 night a week, and that was a waste of time. We was losing money, so we decided to shut the club down in 2012.
It's a shame that I was a nightclub DJ,
Right.
and I retired in 2013. But I saw that decline. I saw that decline going from around about the smoking ban is when it really started to dip. And like you say, I mean, if you managed to stay up until 2012, I mean, you're doing pretty well for an independent, nightclub owner, which I'm assuming you were. You're not part of a big conglomerate, are you?
That's right. It was independent. Yeah. So we decided to shut the business down in 2012. We owned the freehold of the property. We didn't have any money. I got in touch with the council. I said, we're closing the business down. We can't pay you any business rates at the moment until we've sold the property. So they wanted the money there and then. And they didn't care whether we had any money or not. They wanted us to pay it, and that was it. So, as I say, you can't get blood out of a stone, but that's what they were trying to do. So it went on. That was 2012. And 2017, I was declared bankrupt, or there was a bankruptcy order made by Southampton Council. They only done it in my name.
Right. So sorry. From 2012 to 17, you got 5 years, and is in that time, is there a back and forth? And can you give us some sort of idea of what sort of numbers they were wanting from you, or amounts?
Well, I was wanting £18,000 a year for the business rates, but we did actually. We was trying to sell the property. We got someone to lease it for 18 months in that 5 years, and they was with a view of them buying it at the end of the lease. But then NatWest stepped in because we had loans secured against the property, and obviously we couldn't pay them either. So they was putting the pressure on, and they actually got the receivers in the end. We moved to Kent from Southampton, and the receivers moved in and sold the property. So that cleared the bank's debts, but there weren't enough left over for the council. So the council, as I say, went to for bankruptcy, which happened in 2017, July 2017. As I say, it was only in my name. The bankruptcy, they didn't bother with my wife. I had they was in my name only, all mortgaged. When I was declared bankrupt, I weren't happy the way they dealt with it in the court and that, because when you're fighting the courts and the council, you know it's always going to go. You know which way it's going to go. It doesn't matter what you say. It didn't matter what I said. They didn't take any notice. I did offer to make a payment to them once we'd sold the property, but the judge didn't want to listen, and the council just kept pushing it. So I didn't comply with anything to do with the bankruptcy because I weren't happy about it. And eventually, the trustee in bankruptcy found out that I had 9 rental properties.
Okay, so well, obviously, if you've not got involved with them and you've not complied with anything that they've said, or you've not spoken to them, then they've not got that from you, have they? So
No.
they've obviously done the due diligence on you and realised that you've got some other property.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and also they found out where my bank account was, so they closed that down as well. So that was probably the end. I think it was about the end of 2017 when they actually discovered about these properties, and they got rid of all the tenants, which is our income, one of my wife's income, that was our pension. And when we was going to, if we needed some money, we was intending to sell a property, but we had a bit of income to keep our heads above water from the rent. But once the trustee in bankruptcy found out about that, he got rid of all the tenants, so we had no income, and they've all been sold off now anyway. Then obviously we couldn't pay the mortgage on the house that I'm in now, which we've had since 2010. So then we had the same again. NatWest was involved. That they was the bank who we had the mortgage with in this house where I am now, and they started putting the pressure on and went for a possession order in 2018. And they got their possession order. They give us a date to move out. I think it was November 2018. We didn't, obviously. So then they got the warrant, and they give us a date of the 4th of December 2018 when they was going to evict us with the warrant. So
this is a separate thing. This is as a result of the financial difficulties that you've suffered as a result of them coming after you in 2012 for business rates on a business that's not even a business anymore. It's just the property. So so they've put you in that position, and that's meant that you can't afford to pay your mortgage.
Yeah.
And you found right. Okay, I've just wanted to make sure that people.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so the first attempt at eviction was the 4th of December 2018. They'd give me the date, obviously. So I've got a few mates. I had half a dozen mates around here who knew this stuff. And we had a friendly chat with the bailiffs and that, and there was a locksmith, and there was an estate agent waiting to value the property. You know, we had a chat with the bailiffs, said, look, you're not going to be taking this property. So, and we asked for the bailiff's name, asked to see his ID and that. He showed us a card. All he said on it was County Court Bailiff. And we said, where's your name? What? Show us your proper ID. And he says, I don't have to reveal my name. As we all know, if someone comes around and says they're a bailiff, you're going to want to know their name, and they should give their name. So you can check them out just to see if they are real bailiffs. But anyway, he refused to give his name. I said, okay, call the police then if you're going to, if what you're doing is legal and above board. But I said, no, we're not going to call the police. We will be back again sometime without notice. So that was that day, 4th of December 2018. So I was expecting them to come back at any time. I never knew when it was going to be. And I moved my wife out the house because I know what some of these evictions are like. They can get violent. I didn't want my wife in the way. So I stayed in the house for 2 months, waiting to see when they're going to do it. And it was the 5th of February 2019. I was in my office at the front of the house, and I could see, I suddenly saw half a dozen coppers going by the front wall, and a lot of other people behind them. And I realised straight away what was going on. I knew this was the day they was going to try and evict me. Anyway, they knocked on the door. I tried to phone a friend to see if I could get some backup, but I couldn't get through to anyone. They was knocking on the door. So I went up to the landing window, opened the window. I see this bailiff that was there 2 months before. He said to me, "Are you going to open the door and let us in?" I said, "No," and I shut the window. And I say, probably no more than 5 minutes later, the police were smashing the door in. I was at the front of the house. There was a locksmith who was, as on the police body cam evidence that I got, the locksmith was discussing with the police, right, I'll drill the front lock and you go and smash the side door in. You could hear it on the video that I got from the police.
Right.
So he was drilling the front lock and I was putting a big table up against the front door. Then suddenly I heard smashing in the side door. So I had a wooden ornamental club hanging up at the front. So I grabbed hold of it. I went into the kitchen where they were smashing their way in. And as I went in there, I see this copper's head. It was a sergeant, just about to come through the hole in the bottom of the door. So,
Sorry.
So I said to him, yeah, I said to him, "You ain't fucking coming in here, mate." And as soon as he seen me coming towards him, he got out very quick. No more than a second, he had his head in the door. Then I grabbed hold of the panel that they knocked through. I tried to put it back in to block the door up. The sergeant grabbed hold of a metal pole and he smashed it out of my hands. Then another copper there, he got his taser out and he started pointing at me through the hole in the bottom of the door. So I said, "Go on then, shoot me." So he did. The first shot got me in the chest, but I had a couple of fleeces on. It was February and it's cold, so I had a couple of fleeces on. It didn't actually contact the skin, so I just pulled the wires out and I moved back a few feet. Then probably no more than a minute after he shot me in the chest, he shot me in my leg. And that one did have an effect, and that gave the police time to come in while I was being electrocuted. I was trying to pull it out, but I can't really remember too much about that. Then these first two coppers that come through the door, there was a sergeant and another one called Post-eviction. They grabbed hold of me, dragged me over to the other side of the room. The sergeant punched me in the face twice, because he was the one who first attempted to come through the door. And
so that's the guy with his head through the door who nearly lost it when he popped it through because you got your ornamental, your ornamental whatever it was, equipment.
He shit himself, yeah.
Well, he's going to punch you a couple of times in the face. You got to expect that. You know what fucking cowards are.
Yeah, it didn't hit me very hard anyway. It's only slight bruising. Anyway, they got me on the floor, face down. I had a cut on my head, cuffed me behind the back, hands behind my back. Then we was probably waiting about 5-10 minutes before they actually got me into the police car. I was sitting in the police car for about 15 minutes while the police and the bailiffs sorted out whatever they was going to do. I could see the boarding up company van ready to board the house up. So as far as there was 3 coppers in the car with me, and the one who tasered me, he was in the front seat, and Post-eviction was in the back seat with me, and Post-eviction was on the radio to control room, let them know what happened. Someone had been tasered, and they told him that I had to be taken to the hospital. Anyone that's been tasered is supposed to go to the hospital to get checked out. Now, the one who tasered me, he didn't have a clue about that. He said, I don't understand that, because as far as he was concerned, we was going straight to the police station. So they took me to a local hospital, was there for an hour or so, still cuffed. They couldn't treat me. There's no A&E there. They did offer to clean my head wound up, but I refused any treatment. They said, "Oh, you'll have to take it to Medway Hospital," which was about 20 miles away. So we went from there to Medway Hospital. We was in there a few hours. Same again, I refused all treatment. I was still cuffed all this time. It was from 8 o'clock in the morning. And then finally, when they realised I weren't going to have any treatment, they took me to the police station, and we got there just after 1 o'clock in the afternoon, which is like 5 hours later. And cuffed all the time. But as soon as I was cuffed in the house, I went silent. I didn't say a word from being cuffed until I was released on bail after 11 o'clock that night.
So, so you were released on bail. Were you charged with anything, or were you just released?
I was originally I was charged with 2 assaults. They wanted to charge me with 3 assaults on police and affray, but obviously it has to go through the CPS. The CPS decide what the charges are from all the information they've got. They said no to the affray and yes to 2 assaults. So originally I was charged with 2 assaults on police. So the first hearing a month later in the magistrate's court, I said, well, I don't want it dealt with here. I'm going to have a trial by jury. So they set a date for the Crown Court a month later.
And all this time in between, where did you go after you'd been released? Because did you go straight back to the property, or
no?
How did that pan out?
Where my wife was staying, I went round there that night after being bailed. Me and my wife went round to the house the next day, and it had all been boarded up anyway. And there was a 24-hour security dog patrol on the front drive, so they was making sure no one was going to get back in.
Right.
So, but I did get back in. I found out because I had someone keeping their eye on the house. I was living 20 miles away. I had someone local was keeping their eye on the house every day. And about 7 weeks after the house was boarded up, I was told that security had gone. So I decided, right, I'm going to go back in. So it was 29th of March 2019. I got my wife to drop me off with a load of tools. I got over the back gate. I got one of the metal screens off the back window. Got in the house. When they board the houses up, they take all the glass and the doors off. They take all the glass out the windows and they take all the doors off, but they do actually store them in the house. So I got in the window, I put 2 panes of glass back in. I was just about to put the third one in, and I had a police radio coming down the side of the house. Obviously, one of the neighbours had phoned the police saying there's someone's trying to break in. So they called my name out because they knew it was me. So I had to jump out the window and talk to them over the gate. I explained the situation. I said, look, this is my house. It is copy with title deeds. I showed them some ID. I said, open the gate and let us in. So I let them in. And they said to me, how come this window's got no metal shutter on it like all the others? I said, I don't know. And I hid it behind the shed, and one of them went out the garden. They looked behind the shed and said, I said, okay, yeah, I did take it off, but it's my house. So they said, right, we're arresting you for suspicion of burglary. This is 2 young coppers. I didn't really have a clue what they was doing. I tried to explain it's a civil matter, but said, right, you need to get a sergeant down here and I'll explain it to them. So about 15, 20 minutes later, a sergeant come down. And he actually recognised me where I used to play golf. We used to play golf at the same place. And I explained the situation to him. He knew all about when I was tasered and thrown out the house. And I explained it. I said, it's a civil matter. He says, yeah, I agree. It's a civil matter, nothing to do with the police. So we'll leave you to it. So that was it. They went away, de-arrested me. And what I'd done that day, I just got the last pane of glass in because my wife turned up after. I let her know the police was there and she come back to the house. So I got the last pane of glass in and I screwed the window shut from outside. And the plan was I had 3 other friends to help me to take all the shutters down the next day and put all the windows and doors back in. So the next day, there was 4 of us there. When we got to the house, we could see the security had been back, and the window that I put back in, they'd taken the glass back out and put another shutter up. So, but luckily they didn't do it very well, and they left one pane of glass in, which gave me I could quite easily just leave with the corner up, then I could get my hand in and cut the bolts off. So we got back in within about 10 minutes, and 3 hours later, we'd put all the windows and doors back in, changed all the locks. And the funny thing is, while we was doing it, my brother-in-law was out front. He works for a door shutter van. He's getting something out of his van, and the estate agent turned up. He probably had a viewing to do, and he said to my brother-in-law, "What are you doing? Putting new shutters up?" He said, "No, we're fucking taking them down and putting the windows back in." So he went away.
Anyway, yeah, he's not going to be bothered about that, is he? He's not going to be bothered about hanging about all that scene.
No, that's right. Yeah. Anyway, so that was that. I was back in the house. That was 29th. I got in, the 30th. I actually moved back in there, but there was nothing left in the house because they clear all the furniture out and they put it all in storage. So
right.
I was staying in the house for a little while on my own. I had a camp bed and a kettle and a saucepan. That was about it, really, to start off with. But my wife was still staying at my mum's because I weren't sure what's going to happen, whether they're going to come back and have another go. So
yeah, of course not. No.
Yeah. Then it was probably a week or so later. My wife, she had an appointment with the doctor. She was having bad pain. She thought it was to do with her kidney stones, and I could see she was really bad. I don't know how she drove 20 miles to the house. So I said, "Well, I'll take you to the doctor." So I drove to the doctor's, and the doctor said, "You should have called an ambulance straight away, and you need to go to the hospital." So I drove her to the hospital, Medway Hospital, and to cut a long story short, she found out she had liver cancer, and 8 weeks later she died. So, and we were staying at my mum's at the time. I was staying with her. I was visiting her every day at the hospital and taking her to King's College every now and then. She stayed in King's College for quite a while. She did get home back to my mum's in the end, and that's where she died 8 weeks later. So
I mean, I know it's no consolation, but I mean, it wasn't a long drawn out thing, was it? You know,
no, that's right.
Your wife. I mean, you know, that's a blessing. She weren't in a lot of pain for a long time, anyway.
Not for a long time, no. Anyway, we had the funeral and that, and I was expecting the house to be taken back by the bailiffs or something, because I had to abandon it and stay look after my wife around my mum's. But after the funeral, not long after, I decided to come back to the house, and luckily the bailiffs hadn't been back. No one had been back, so I just went back in the house, and I've been in there ever since. And over 3 years now, I've been back in the house. I've never had trouble with police or bailiffs or anyone until that time. Up until so that would have been,
up until last few weeks. Everyone's commenting on your. Is it Reg, your dog, who's snoring under?
Reg's snoring, yeah.
Everyone can hear Reg the dog snore, so it's Reg the dog. It's not what I've got. My dog here, Watson. He snores as well, but he's not snoring at the moment. That's Reg the dog for everybody. Listen, everyone's sending the condolences for your loss. Obviously, it's difficult to when you lose somebody, and on top of all the stress that's already going on in your life. You say you've been back in the house for 3 years. I mean, when did it rear its ugly head again?
Right. So what happened? When I got to the Crown Court for the first hearing.
Oh yeah, we forgot about that. Sorry, yeah, we
Yeah.
forgot about your court case. So you're in court. You're charged with assaulting 2 police officers.
Yeah, originally I was charged with assaulting 2 police officers, but when it got to the Crown Court, they dropped the 2 assault charges and they changed it to affray. So now I was up for affray. So anyway, it started August 2019. We had the first trial. Got to day 2. We've got the sergeant on the stand. The prosecution done their questioning of him. Then it's my turn to cross-examine him. And I asked him a few questions. And the main question was about the warrant. And he believed he had power to force entry. And I said, no, you didn't. No, you're wrong. And the judge asked to have a look at the warrant. And the judge looked at it. He said, yeah, you're right, Mr. White. There is no power to force entry. So he dismissed the jury, told the sergeant to get out of the court. And that was it. That was the first trial finished. And he gave the CPS a right grilling after for the way they'd handled the case.
Right.
But the judge gave the CPS a chance to have a think about it, and he set another hearing for a month later to see if the CPS wanted to have another go and have a second trial.
So it would in the second trial. Sorry, I'm a bit at a loss with this judge. I mean, what does he think? All right, you can't be done in my court, but I'm going to make sure that you're done in another court. That's what it seems to me. Surely the double jeopardy laws apply here, so you can't be charged with the same offence because you've already been, found not guilty of those offences.
Well, no, I wasn't actually found not guilty.
Right. Okay. Right.
First trial, no, it was the the warrant argument, as they called it. They didn't find me not guilty or anything like that, but for some reason the judge give the prosecution another chance if they wanted it to have a second trial. So we had the hearing September 2019 to see if they wanted to go ahead and have another go. It's supposed to have been like an hour and a half in the morning, but it went on to the afternoon. And I had a few friends there, and we was all expecting the judge to say no to a second trial, but in the end, he said yes. So he set a date for I think it was May 2020 for the next one. But and as we know, COVID kicked in, so that trial didn't go ahead. I had a phone hearing with the judge and the CPS lawyer a little while after that, case management hearing on the phone. So he set another date for, I think it would have been February or March 2021. Same again, that didn't go ahead because COVID was still going on. But eventually we got a new date for March this year, 2022, 21st of March, start for the second trial. It lasted 2.5 days altogether. And same again, cut a long story short, on the third day, the jury went out to come up with their verdict. 40 minutes, they come back not guilty, and that was it. So I was not guilty in the second trial.
Right. Okay.
So that case is now finished.
Was that the second trial? It wasn't in front of the same judge as the first trial, was it? Because that to me, the first part seems to be it's almost as if he's wanting that out of his way, off his roster, if you know what I mean.
It was the same judge, yeah.
Oh, it was. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, and to be honest, he was pretty good in the second trial, yeah, and he could see the prosecution were going to struggle to get a conviction, and he guided the jury with the question with his I can't remember what he called it, but he gave them 3 points. Basically, the judge was telling them really it's got to be not guilty, and that's what happened. Yeah.
So the judge directed the jury to come to a not guilty, but it still took them 40 minutes.
Yeah, well, only took 40 minutes, which is pretty quick.
True.
Yeah, yeah. So that was it. Yeah, and I had a lot of good support. I had about 15 to 20 people in the court each day, friends. And after the not guilty verdict and the judge got up to leave the court, we all clapped him.
I saw that in the Daily Mail, actually. The Mail Online article that they did on it. There's an article on Mail Online, and it says that the people in the gallery applauded when the judge left, which was
it's quite funny. Yeah. Then as the judge had left and we were just about to leave the courtroom, we had a word with the CPS lawyer, and we said, "Unlucky, mate." And he said, "If you're thinking of going for a prosecution against the police, forget it, because it won't happen." He says. So you could see he was really angry. But he said, "Don't even bother trying." He says.
Someone's already made that point, actually. That's a breach of Section 26 of the Criminal Justice and Courts Act. I think that was 2016, wasn't
it? What is?
The police, when they assist in a bailiff, that is breach of Section 26.
2015, I think.
2015, were it? I thought it was 2016.
Yeah, we did point that out, but they didn't want to know about that, and no,
they don't. They won't want to know about it. They don't. What they do is they shoot you down, just completely shoot you down. Nobody will talk to you.
Yeah, we've asked a lot of police about that. Do they understand what that act's all about? The 2015, and none of them so far have admitted to knowing about it. So they probably don't want to know about it either.
Let me just ask you a question. Anybody who's got a question, it's not that I'm not reading. I am reading them. I'm starring some of them, the ones that I want to put to one side. But Media Mogul says, when your property goes into storage, what's the maximum time they can hold it for? Who pays for it? And also says, I was told my property got skipped, and judge for re-entry to get my stuff denied me my belongings and stole everything. So.
Well, I'm not sure how long they'll store it for, but what happened with me when we eventually found out where it was stored, it took a couple of weeks. You don't have to pay to get it out, but what the bank do, they'll put costs on top of your what they say you owe for your mortgage. So you do pay for it in the end. Yeah, it comes out. It's added to your mortgage. Your arrears or whatever. I don't know how long.
You walk out of court in February. You're a free man. You've just been found not guilty, and you're going to go home and presumably you think, well, that's it. I'm going to happily ever after. Or did you know that they perhaps come again at some point?
Well, I've been expecting it. They was actually going to. The Bailiffs was actually going to have another go in March 2020, but COVID stopped them doing that. It's now with High Court enforcement agents, officers, whatever they're called. So it's gone from the county court now up to the High Court, and for some reason they seem to think they've got more powers than the county court bailiffs, but they haven't.
No, I wouldn't imagine they have either. I mean, I thought a high court enforcement agent couldn't for a domestic property. I thought that it were.
I'll read something out. This is the ones who's dealing with it is Court Enforcement Service Limited, and on their website, and I've pointed this out to them. It says like residential peaceful admittance and. An enforcement agent cannot force entry to a residential property without first gaining peaceful admittance. Once inside, the enforcement agent can return and force entry later should it be required. E.g., the defendant has not adhered to the agreement terms of the previous visit. So, and that also applies to a combined business and residential premises. So that's on their own High Court. Was it Court Enforcement Services website?
So do you think they consider the first time as making peaceful entry because they got in last time and were able to board your house up? Is that what
Oh,
they say?
well, I don't know, but obviously it weren't peaceful entry, so so really
No.
they've got no right to break in again. No, that's right. So yeah, so now we've got when was it, the 27th of May this year, the other week. I was out for the day. I come back and there was a letter posted through the door, 3-page letter from the High Court Enforcement Services saying they're going to evict me now on the 10th of June, this Friday coming. So they're going to have another go this Friday.
Right.
So that's going to be. I have emailed them. I've also let the police know about it. I've emailed the Chief Constable of Kent, the Police and Crime Commissioner, and I've also got because when I was evicted in February 2019, I made a complaint to the PSD, the Professional Standards Department, who deal with police complaints. And I told them I wasn't happy what happened, where I got tasered and punched in the face, and my house was broken into. At the time, after about 8 weeks, they said, "Well, we can't investigate or do anything about that. All the time, there's an ongoing criminal matter." So they have now started to investigate it again, but they couldn't do anything until it's finished in the court. So now they are actually looking into it, but they ain't got very far at the moment. And I've also emailed. It's an Inspector Stoner who's investigating the original complaint from 2019. I had a face-to-face meeting with him with a friend of mine before he started investigating it, because I said I'd rather speak to you face-to-face and do it through email, so we know what the score is. And basically he says, well, I asked him if the officers involved are still working. He says yes, they are, and it's not very likely that they'll be sacked or anything like that, or charged with anything. You're not going to get what you think you're going to get, because as far as I'm concerned, the sergeant and PC Dunn, they've committed crimes for breaking into my house, for tasering me, when they shouldn't have even got involved in the civil matter.
No, they were unlawfully in your house. They were the judge has said that. You've had a judge say that.
Yeah, the judge says those classed as intruders, and I had every right to use reasonable force to eject them. Yeah. As far as the judge was concerned, he said it himself. Yeah, they are classed as intruders. They're trespassing. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is we've heard it before. This is what they do, isn't it? I mean, I've doing this show. I've heard so many different stories. I'm never one where someone's got tasered. Never one where they've got back into the house and essentially been left alone for a while anyway by the banks. What about in that? What about the police? Do you still have any? When you have like interact with them, are they off with you? Do they know who you are, and do they like?
I very rarely see any police around here.
No. Fucking terrible behaviour. So, based upon,
it's going to be interesting to see on Friday if the police do want to get involved, if they turn up, and if they do turn up, whether they are going to assist the bailiffs again, because it's going to, they will be aware of what happened before, what happened with my court case. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with the police.
Toby is in the chat room. He says He says that the judge reminded the court of the castle doctrine. Every man has a right to defend his castle.
Yeah. Ty was my Mackenzie friend. Yeah. And yeah, he's a good man.
He's
Good
been
man
on this show before, Toby, many years ago. But nice to see you again, Toby. I spoke to him for quite a while.
with Chrissy Morris.
Yeah, we had him on with Chrissy Morris. I mean, that were fun, shall we say? We've got over 100 people in chat room, like about an hour before we even started, and it just we're crazy. But anyway, that's a number of years ago. How have they? So have they gone back to court to get? Because I'm assuming that the original order, the warrant that they it will have run out. Surely there's a statute of limitations.
Apparently, I questioned about it because when I got the letter through the door, where it's got the space for the writ number and the warrant number, there's no numbers in there. And I've asked them about it. Why is there no warrant number or writ number on it? They said, "Oh, we don't need to put a number on it because we're going to enforce the county court order from 2019." So I thought, yeah, okay, we'll see how that goes. Then, yeah. How can you have a warrant or a writ without a number on it? Yeah, where you can't check it with the courts or anything. But they seem to think they can.
I mean, that's just beyond even in this world where we live now. It's beyond ridiculous.
Yeah.
That they can just turn up with a piece of paper that says "I am a warrant," and you've got to remove yourself from a property that you know it's your home, your castle, as it were.
And they get away with it most of the time, don't they?
Well, they do, yeah. They do, yeah.
Because people think, well, the bailiffs, they're going to kick me out. I better go, yeah. Or, yeah. Most people just give up.
I just hope that if anybody comes on when the bailiffs come on Friday, if any police officers do come, I just hope somebody's had a word with him beforehand just to tell them what to expect and what not to do, because these poor lads. I know. Look, I've got no time for coppers at all, and anybody who wants to do that job to me is a dick. But they are fellow human beings, and they're doing shit to other human beings, and they need to be told what they need to realise what they're doing, and and you're going to be waiting for them.
I'm sure they will be told, about the last incident. I'm sure they will be aware of it, and I'm sure they'll act differently this time.
So what's your plan for Friday then? It's this coming Friday. So if anybody wants to go down, anybody wants to video it and send me a video report or something like that, we can play it on show on Friday night. Because I'm on Friday night. So if anyone's down there, just tell anybody who wants to come down and perhaps give you some help and some support. Support's the most important thing. I think that's all you need. You don't need protecting or all that, but you just need people to witness it and people who are there to support you.
Yeah, well, it will be filmed. I'm expecting at least 30 people at the moment, maybe more. So it's I'm going to have a good crowd there. And basically, the enforcement agent's going to turn up. We'll see if it's the one on the on the paperwork first, because we went to one a little while ago where it was a different one on the paperwork. So he shouldn't have even been there. So anyway, we'll have a chat with them. We'll say, look, you're not coming in. We're not going to let you in. We're not going to allow you peaceful entries. So you better go away. And if they start forcing entry, I don't know if they're going to come tooled up or come with plenty of other bailiffs. We'll have to wait and see. But I won't be giving in to them, no. And I'll have a lot of friends there. And they all know the stuff. We want to try and keep it peaceful. We'll keep it peaceful. It's up to them if they make it go the other way.
Yeah, we need somebody to live stream the. Who'd host that though? I mean, they'd have you off Facebook straight away or something like that, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
If you're doing something like this,
there will be plenty of video evidence anyway.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there will be. Anthony Perry, I don't know if you know him, but he seems to.
Michael,
yeah. Oh right, okay. He says the sergeant is a Freemason and gave hand signals to the judges.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, that was in the first trial. I haven't got a clue about all their signals and all that, but yeah, when the sergeant first came on the stand, He looked all nice and smart. He had his tie on, and he sort of went like that with his tie. I didn't know what it meant, but some of the other people in the court said that's a Freemason's signal. He's signalling to the judge, "Help me, judge." And apparently the judge just ignored him. He didn't want to know. It was quite comical, yeah. But at the time, I didn't know. It was when we went to lunch. Someone said to me about it. And, yeah, check it out. Yeah, it seems about right. Yeah. But, so he was asking the judge for help. He was sweating. He knew he'd done wrong because he knew there was no power to force entry.
So at this point, what is now your attitude towards this? Is it you're not getting anywhere near, and I'm going to keep fighting and fighting and fighting until my very last breath? Is that the sort of attitude you've got now?
Oh yeah. I'll stand my ground. Yeah, if they want to get violent, that's up to them. Then I won't be going easily this time.
Have you got plenty of ornaments? I'm assuming.
I've got plenty of reinforced doors and windows on the ground floor, so that I've got some ornaments.
It's just crazy. Have you made a police complaint? How did you get on with that? Did you make one, or did you not bother?
Well, it's still being investigated at the moment by this inspector, yeah, with the PSD. So that's from 2019. So that is still ongoing.
Well, I've got one that's officially still being investigated from 2016. So
right,
15,
yeah.
sorry. So
really,
they don't they don't they don't ever gear up. They just stonewall you. They just boom. They won't talk to you. I was ringing up and telling them I've got people attacking, people coming in. Oh no, you're all right. Just stay there. It was like that bit where on Die Hard where someone, or I think it was Die Hard, and someone goes, "Oh no, there's some shit going on here," and the bloke on the other end's one at terrorists, and he just goes, just keep calm, maybe you'll live through this sort of thing. That's what I were getting end up phone. They're just mental.
Yeah, well, 2015. That's a long one, isn't it? That's a long investigation.
Well, it is. I mean, I've just get up on it now. I really have been. In fact, there's still an investigation open from 2004 with me, so that I've not had resolved. So it's an absolute nightmare.
Well,
so they're coming this Friday.
Yeah, coming this Friday. Yeah, so we're going to try and make it a party atmosphere, and we'll have some tables and chairs out the front, so we can have.
If you could have your street party, your Jubilee street party.
Yeah,
have it on that day. Say having a late one. If you could get people going, I mean, to tell everybody where it is, so if anybody's in the local area and not got out to do, if you can go down and just offer your support.
If anyone wants to come down, if they're local, it's 29 Park Road in Sheerness, in Kent.
Sheerness in Kent.
If you want to put it on your in the comments or something. So 29 Park Road. You got my address anyway.
I've got your address. Yeah, I'll stick it. What I'll do is I'll put in the comments when we're done with this, and it's on YouTube.
Yeah, okay.
I'll put it in the comments because you did send me an email.
You can put a copy of the notice I sent you as well. You want to put that on there? Everything's public with me, so there's no secrets of it.
Well, you've got an email exchange, haven't you, with the people? Who was that email exchange? That was with the bailiff company, weren't it?
That's with the enforcement company, and also I've CC'd the police into it as well. Yeah.
Crazy. Media Mogul says Tom Crawford and the other bloke. I think he's talking about. Oh God, we've had him on this show. Guy. Who died a couple of years ago, didn't he?
Yeah.
Bodmin man who now passed due to the stress of it all. Whether a mortgage or rent, lost business as usual. Business is, it is business. It don't matter. It don't matter about people. It don't matter about people's lives. You find that. I mean, before this, were you somebody that was that knew that this sort of stuff went on, or were you just sort of normal, law-abiding, paying your taxes, doing your thing, trying to make a living sort of thing?
I used to pay a bit of tax, yeah. I've always been against paying tax, and if I could get away with it, then I would. Yeah, but sometimes in business you've got to declare a little bit, haven't you?
Well, you have,
to,
yeah.
keep,
Well,
to
I
keep
don't
them off
know.
your back. To keep them off your back. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, keep them off your back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Air pistols are great too, says Care now. Yeah. Oh, they were talking about crossbows and all. We don't want to be. We don't want to be talking like this. There's certainly not going to be any violence on the part of the people that are down there on Park Road.
Park Road.
It's
Yeah.
Park Road in Sheerness on Friday.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry.
hopefully not. Hopefully the enforcement agents will understand that they can't force entry. Yeah.
So, what sort of effect has this had on you personally? I mean, you've lost your wife. I don't know whether that might have been some of that might have been due to the stress of things and that.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe a
how
bit.
has it
Yeah.
been on you? How has it been on you personally?
Uh. Well, I'm just ready to fight the system all the way now. Yeah. I just don't care now.
I don't
Yeah.
blame you. I
I
really,
won't
I,
be.
I really don't blame you. I mean, it's they beat the will out of you, don't they? They try to beat
Yeah.
the will out of you, and
Try
then
to.
and,
Yeah.
and then they think you're going to fade away.
Yeah.
Anthony Perry says they wanted Bob in the dock. That we did not agree. It's a torture, incriminating an innocent man. It is. Tony, a non-violent extremist, he's one of bouncers in chat room. Good evening to you, Tony. He says, I like Bob. He's a normal dude who sees the fucking game. More power to you, Bob.
Cheers.
Yeah, plenty of support in here. It's just like we've heard it all. It's like it's almost as if we lost as well in 2014. I was just listening to, strangely enough, people in chat room, but I was just listening to Paul Webster, just before this show. He used to come on this show, but he's fell out with me, I think. But I was just listening to him before, and he was talking, and he was saying something about there was a time when it was as if we had some momentum. Like 2014, 2015, Tom Crawford's day, and round about that time, and it seems that we didn't. I don't know whether we had the momentum taken away from us or we lost the momentum. It was one or the other, and I
Yeah.
don't quite understand. I can't quite work out what it is, but things like this haven't been popping up on our radar. Whether it's just the way that YouTube and social media and things they keep things, that people don't get publicity that really should do. I mean, we can all look at a fucking
Yeah.
them last week in America and last week whose Jubilee it were. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like things like this. Evictions that you don't see that on mainstream media or in the newspapers and that. Look at some of the things like the protests that went on in London. You don't see that on the mainstream media, do you?
No, we didn't see it at mainstream media at a time when there were 1 million people in London. You don't see it on
That's right,
mainstream
yeah.
media. I
Yeah,
mean,
they'll say there's a couple of hundred people there or something like that. Yeah,
you know your house. What
yeah.
does it say on the land registry now for the owner?
Mine and my wife's name's still on it as the
Right.
legal process. Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah,
I mean that's summer anyway, isn't it? That's still
yeah,
something that's there that you can cling on to ourselves.
yeah,
Um, problem is we police ourselves now. We are big time folks, says Kerr now. Yeah, good point. We do police ourselves, and people don't say what they mean, and they don't say what they want to say. Men dressed in frocks, in wigs, telling us what we can and can't happen in this fucking country, and then we
yeah,
wonder why we've got a problem with people wondering what they are. They don't know who everyone else is who's supposed to be in demand knowing what they are. Listen, Bob, it's been fantastic having you on. I've got another hour. I'm just struggling to to where we're going to go with this. So, is there anything you want to add to this?
Well, no, it's just want to say really to be continued. We'll see what happens Friday.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens Friday. Listen, it's all the best here from everybody here at Raconteurs, me, myself. We'll definitely be reporting on this. See, I'll be keeping a close eye. See, it's a bit far for me to come down. See, I'm up in Sheffield.
Fine, mate,
so it is a bit far for me to come down, but
I think I'm expecting numbers anyway. So so at least 30, I would have thought.
So get down to Bob's. There'll be some coffee and soup and I don't know, all sorts of stuff.
We'll have a party. Yeah.
Someone take a burger van and go and park it on his street as well. Might make a few quid. They even coppers. You might have to beat coppers and bailiffs or whatever. But it should be fun. Brilliant, Bob. Well, listen. Thank you very much for coming on show. I've got another hour to do, so I don't know what I'm going to do for the next hour. I'm going to put what I am going to do is I'm going to put a record on, and I will be back. So get down to Bob's. Let me get the address up on screen. I've got the address somewhere.
Yeah.
Here it is. Address is 29 Park Road, Sheerness, Kent.
Yeah.
So if I pop that in the into there we go. So anybody wants to there you go. It's not forget the I put home in 29 Park Road, Sheerness in Kent. E12 1UY. So you can get yourself down there. Help Bob out on Friday. It's going to be they're going to be turning up from 7 in the morning till 7 at night. But you know what? The sneaky fuckers, aren't they? I remember what they did to Tom Crawford. They were watching his social media and they noticed that he'd gone to London and his wife and went round to the bailiffs went round while he was away and his wife was just in. So you've got to just be careful. You watch them and make sure they do what they're fucking supposed to.
Yeah,
and hold the police to account and all.
Sorry?
Hold the police to account. The more police get held to account, the more that we might get somewhere with this, because they're that line that's keeping us from ripping these fucking scumbags' heads off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. I'm going to play a record. Everyone, thank you very much, Bob. It's been fantastic having you on. I'll be back in a second, everybody, and I'm going to play Boy from Sheffield, and I'm just going to get a bit of a cough up. I had a bit of a cough up before, and I'm going to have a thing. What's it? A drink of water, and try to cough out, get rid of it all. So, Boy from Sheffield, I'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Cheers, Bob.
Right.
Get the wiggies cause I'm off to the hole in the road. I'm walking off school and I'm off to the city, watching telly all night and I'm not looking pretty. See, I got this job downtown, selling knocked off ladies' watches for £1. For a really dodgy man that I met in a dodgy cafe. You know, he said to me, the girl who sold these yesterday wasn't selling very carefully. Police came along and took her and all my watches away. So if you see some coppers, you grab my stuff and leg it, boy, right away. I'll be in the cafe. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way through life. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way through life. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. So it's been a few hours and I haven't sold enough for my bus fare home. Street selling's pretty tough, so I turn on the charm for the lunchtime rush with a smile and a wiggle on my schoolboy touch. So the charm is working in the underground. There's a crowd of men and women gather round, and the watches they are going, the money is a-flowing. Think I'll take a little extra, stick it in my pocket, spend it later. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making it I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way through life. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I haven't sold a watch for an hour and I'm dying for a slash. I've had enough of this, so I'm off for a piss. Then a quick walk back round to the cafe. Sitting at his table, drinking tea. Looks at me suspiciously. Then with a glance at the watch, he says, how did you do? He paid me a couple of quid. Then he said, would you like to come and work another day? I said I'd come back down on Friday. And to that he said, okay. So with £2 in my pocket and another 5 in my shoe, I nipped down to Castle Market where a man who looks like Leo Sayer is selling pots with cockles and prawns. You make me feel like dancing. Then off back to dinner on the Wiggers and then home. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making his way.
I'm just a boy from Sheffield making his way. Was that too loud? So I'm off for a piss. Yeah, okay, we're all right. It's just on some other there. Listen, thanks to Bob for coming on. Good luck to you on Friday. Good luck to if you can get down there. Get down there. You know, I'll put the address in the comments after the show's finished. I've got a couple of things here as well that was started. I should have fucking mentioned them. Media Mogul. Mia Media Mogul says, you moved my way and lol, I was evicted 1 month after you. No warrant, assaulted by cop, being bailiff after 3-hour standoff. And on my own, then homeless. 2 years too. So can relate to you, Bob. There you go. That's Mia Media Mogul. I starred that. I meant to read that out while they were on, but hopefully he's still watching. And Tony said, police acting as the front line for bailiffs, brothers in arms of the corporate structure. Absolutely, that's what they're like. They're just pieces of crap. When they came round here, I got them in Kitchener and we're videoing them, and I knew that no matter I knew that I'd get arrested if I did anything or said anything. Once they were in, that rate. They were not. I weren't going to try and fucking chuck them out because they were like, one of them were built like a big fucking shit house. And they were one older fucking piece of fucking garbage copper, and all these fucking bailiffs and shit, and they were all coppers outside and everything. So I knew once they were in that were it. But I'd put them in resistance, and they had to smash their way in. And I got one of them, and I was talking to him on camera, and I'm saying to him, "This is on YouTube. You can see it on YouTube. It's on my other channel, Alter Edge Media. It's called." South Yorkshire Police Criminal Gang. That's what it's called. South Yorkshire Police Criminal Gang. Yeah, you can see that. And I was talking to one of them, and he told me, he warned me about calling him a Nazi because he'd fucking said he'd worked in Germany. I mean, why? Why would he be offended by the fucking term? Not just because he'd worked in fucking Germany. I've been to Germany. I'm not offended by that. I'm not. Look, I have uni on this show, for fuck's sake. Media Mogul as well said arms, cuff in front. Yeah, so if you're cuffed in the front, it's okay, but your half cuffed behind you is illegal. It's because it's called hogging. Do them for that too. Yeah, I mean he's got plenty on his plate to be dealing with, and he just needs to be careful. they will have to produce the non-existent warrant. Then, yeah, this is it. This is what's going to happen. They're going to have to produce some stuff. There's going to be people there. Smack them, get it into criminal. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, smack them. Sorry, I'm looking at this backwards. This is what I'm looking at chat backwards because I was just looking. John Smith, good evening to you, mate. Terry was not happy about it. He didn't want it to get the lift with me after hearing. Haha. All right, okay. I see. I'm getting into these. Conversations that people are having between themselves. By the way, if you're not in the chat, you're welcome anyway. So you can still read the chat. You can join the chat whenever you want. I don't know what I'm going to do for next hour. I might have to get Uni on. Because I didn't know. It went a little bit shorter than I anticipated, and I'd been listening to Webby beforehand as well to try to to get me some on. So if anyone wants to come and have a chat with me, there you go. That's StreamYard. I'll probably get Uni. Uni will probably jump on. Anybody else want to jump on with us, and you can have a chat. Oh dear me, the Facebook one didn't work. Facebook's probably not working with me. They don't like me, Facebook. I don't give a fuck. Was Bob mistake hiding 9 houses from bankruptcy court? Maybe the sale could have settled the original debt. Again, it's difficult to look back, and you can always look back. It's easy to look back and say you could have done something differently. Listen, I've made tons of things that I've done tons of things that I'd perhaps think were an error now. So I've I can understand. Maybe that would have been. Who knows? Sometimes you don't know. Commentate on England-Germany game. Oh, is it currently 1-0 to Raconteurs News? Who's our England commentate on it? I ain't even got it. I don't care. It's on Channel 4, isn't it? Is it on Channel 4? Uni, how you doing, mate? Why you calling yourself Dinny?
I wanted to fool you, see if you'd make me think I was Denny.
Yeah, but I wouldn't, would I? Because that silly fucking cartoon comes up as your picture when you got your screen.
Oh, damn it. Yeah, right. Yeah, I guess it doesn't work then. Oh, well.
So what's going on in your life then, Deirdre Barlow?
Yeah, just same old. Just trying not to get caught up in what's on the mainstream. The mainstream nonsense. Apparently, there was another couple of shootings over here. There's been how many shootings in the last month? Freaking at least half a dozen, I think.
Right. Oh dear. What's crack? What's gone off?
Oh, and they're still going on with the January 6th committee. They're still trying to press charges against Donald Trump and the top guys in his cabinet that were involved with the January 6th event. And then of course you have the Democrats are pushing all over the mainstream media to push gun control laws and all that.
But they do that anyway, don't they? They've been doing that anyway. You don't need to. You see, that's the thing. You don't need these shootings. These fucking shootings are. I don't know whether they're real. I don't know whether they're copycat or whether whether they might stage one and then there's all copycat. They might not stage one. It might not be staged. It might be shootings. I don't know. This is the thing. I'm right over here in England, in Britain, but like they're always pushing for gun control anyway, aren't they? So it's not like it's anything new, and it's never worked before. So you would have thought that they'd come up with a new strategy by now, or maybe America really does have a problem with guns and it needs to be controlled. I don't know. This is, you see, for me, if I were an American, I'd be damned. Probably they'd probably have to be out of my cold dead hand. I think if I'd got a weapon, if weapons were legal in this country and they'd try to, like they are in the States. We got the similar situation, then I'd be reluctant to give mine up.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it's just like like you said, they've always been doing this, but it especially seems to pop up whenever there's a mass or whenever there's a school shooting. There was one in Texas of an elementary school, and usually whenever kids are in. Of course, as I'm sure you're already aware, that's when they really push it on the media. It's like we have to. It's not fair for the kids to have their lives taken away by this psycho because he happens to have a gun. They don't blame it on the individual or the things that psychologically happen. cause them to be like that psychologically. No, they just go straight for the guns.
Yeah, it's like your pen failed your exam.
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense, but the mainstream media never makes any.
That's an argument. That's an argument, right? That is a good argument, right? But
Yeah, exactly.
don't think that's a little bit too simplistic. I mean, if you take, let's look, gun control, I think is the easiest option for them. If you've got a situation like you got in America, where, well, all over the world, over the Western world, but particularly in America because of the weapons situation. But when you've got a toxic, horrible, disgusting, confused, upside down world society, then you're always going to get somebody who's going to do these fucking things, whether they've got a gun or not. You understand what I mean? So if they've got a gun, then at least it's if they're going to go and kill people, they're doing it quickly if they're shooting them. Whereas I don't know, because we've got this fucking such a fucked up world. It's really weird. So would gun control help? I don't see. This is all shit that needs to be thought about. We can't just think about this is just the left wanting to get rid of guns and have gun control. We can't just think it's just about that, because when do we give up and say, look, the loss of life that you lot keep inflicting on fucking people, all right, you can have your own fucking way and we'll give guns up, because we're sick of it. We don't want this shit happening because you're fucking making a fucking issue of it. I don't know. Like I say, I'm not over there, but it's interesting to look from the bigger, from afar and like a bigger picture.
Yeah, and I also want to address something that John Smith said in the chat. Actually, you can still get guns in Australia. It's just that you need to have like a permit. So like
Australia is such a vast country. It's like Canada. You can still get guns in Canada. In fact, there's probably more guns in Canada than there is in America. But it's because of the vastness of the outback and stuff like that. Then people, they need guns for pest control, and they need guns for to look after cattle and things like that in areas where you can't fucking call police with a cat. Someone's rustling your fucking nicking your cows. So that's the reason why there are guns there. But generally, if you live in a city in these centralized populations, again, another good reason to get rid of guns is they're getting people into centralized populations. People aren't spread out. There's fucking tons of room. This country's only little, It's only right little. It could probably fit in your fucking bedroom, right? And we've got so much fucking space. You can go for miles. If I drive 5 minutes that way, I can be in fucking middle of nowhere. Literally, be in middle of nowhere. So this country's got tons of space, but we're all fucking stuck in centralized areas. It's not, people aren't spread out. It's just all fucking bollocks. And the keepers want us in them little areas just to keep their little system going.
Health Freedom UK, he makes a good point. Justin Trudeau in Canada was talking about getting rid of guns. Freaking. Yeah, he was saying, of course, I don't know how much shootings go on in Canada. I only know about the ones that are here in the U.S. because our media is always talking about it. The Ukraine thing hasn't really been prominent in the media lately. Like, you still hear about it, just like you still hear about COVID. But nowadays it's for the past few weeks or so, it's just been guns, gun control, gun laws, and all this other stuff, or things to do with Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Principium 236 has said, "Hey Jace, I'd like to know what software Heath uses to put his music together." I'll ask him. I mean, Heath were listening earlier on, so if he might be listening now, he might be able to tell you in chat room. So, Heath, if you're in chat room, what fucking software do you use? Because Principium wants to. He's a Sheffield lad, and all. He's another boy from Sheffield, so step up and give out the fucking names. Right to bear arms. That's the why vests. That's why people have got vests. I've got a vest on, look. I've got a vest on. Because I've got the right to bear arms.
Yeah, it's but yeah, this especially tends to happen in the what's it called? Like the red states usually tend to have more targeting by the media than the blue states over here.
Yeah, well,
You know,
it's the same here because that's where the money is, isn't it?
yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
keep up the
you're
whole.
opposite, aren't you? Because you see, in our country, right over here, the Labour Party, which would be your Democrat equivalent, your Democrats, they're fucking red, and the Tory Party, or the ones in power, the wankers that are in power now, this is it is a joke. They're blue.
So the Tories are the Democrats, basically.
No, the Tories are blue. That they are the Republicans.
Oh, okay.
But their colour is blue, whereas yours, it's Republicans, is red. It's weird. It's fucking telling you. It just confuses everybody. That's what it's there for.
Yeah, it's left-right system.
Now it's like, you know, world watches everything. And it were worst joke ever. Sorry, CMB. Get yourself a big fucking bazooka. Who's going to argue then? Yeah, so it's all fucking difficult. It's all shit stuff, man. It's all shit. It's all like, you know, yeah. Where's Jimmy anyway? He's fucking. Oh, he must be probably working or fell asleep or something. He could come on and tell us about Ukraine. I forgot about that. I forgot because I didn't see him in chat room. So, yeah, because leaving that's going on. And I've just had such a good few days because I just turned the fucking lot off. I didn't watch anything. I saw online, I mean, something about fucking Queen with an hologram in a fucking hologram in carriage, you know, Queen's carriage. So she got an hologram. They were an hologram of her when she were going after she'd had coronation. So she's fucking waving and people are waving at a fucking hologram. Honestly. That's the only thing I saw. But it was really good because I didn't even know that Boris Johnson had got a vote of no confidence in him. I didn't even know that. I've just been switched off. I just can't be arsed with it anymore. I like talking to fucking real people about real things. I like talking about this game sometimes, but you know, real. If I'm going to talk to somebody and it like on one-to-one when I'm talking to my wife or Adi today, I've been talking to Adi. I'd just prefer to just talk about normal shit because it's just fucking boring. Adi's doing all right, by the way. We went swimming today. We've been shopping to several shops. Yes, he was, and he's okay. He's doing all right. We went swimming. Yeah, queue were too long, so we snuck in. Well, we didn't sneak in. We just walked in. But everyone knows us there anyway, so they must have just assumed that we're, you know. I think one of them watches this. Jimmy, how you doing, mate, old mate?
Yeah, okay. I got a bit wet there while you were on with your guest, and I missed it, so I'll have to do a bit of a rewind and catch that part. I got in a bit late because not enough hours in the day, Jay. You know, just not enough.
And see, I thought you were going to say you got wet listening to me.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, you kinky devil, yeah.
Yeah, motherfucker.
That man has the largest penis I have ever seen. I actually don't even know if he has.
Oh my god! What the fuck?
That man has the largest penis I have ever seen. I actually don't even know if he has mumps. Forgot to look. I was distracted by the largest penis I have ever seen.
Yep, that is mine.
That could be you,
yeah, very possible. Well, but anyway, about this Democrat thing and the Democrats not wanting guns. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think the Democrats are arming up to fuck. I think not only are they all turning Republican, but they're also getting armed to fuck because they've seen what's been going on the last couple of years, the way their cities have been, that their cops have been told to stand down. And I think even they're getting very nervous, you know. So, you know, I don't think it's, as like Jay said, it's not a left-right thing, you know. It's like you've got quite a lot of Democratic people who would be sort of like big NRA people and like very, very fond of their weapons. You know, it's an American thing, not something that's left-right. You know.
No, it's not left right, is it? It's and plus there's so many fucking things to take into account. But again, what do you do? And what's going off in Ukraine? There, quite a bit going off, judging by your newsfeed, which I have been looking at because I don't like watching that because you don't really get your newsfeed. I don't get that on regular news or on regular telly. So it's you know,
No.
I do watch a bit of that.
Jimmy, I look sick, do I, Robert? So I'm not really. I'm just pale. I had a long day, so I suppose I'm a bit tired. That's all. And
Bit green around the gills.
oh, that sort of way. Oh, that sort of way. Okay, yeah, that's my Incredible Hulk persona. A big green. But,
Yeah, go on. What's Ukrainian? What's going on there then?
Well, I suppose I can't reference Ukraine without actually referencing the MSN here in Ireland. And I was really unfortunate the other 2 nights ago. I called to visit Mam, and my Mam's a real tellyholic. You know, she had the telly is on nearly all day long there. And I was in for the news, and they were doing this piece about how the Ukrainians were mounting this counter-offensive, like, and they were doing a really, really good job in Severodonetsk. And I turned around and I couldn't believe what I was listening to, you know, because there were rumors about this going on all that day, about this great push that the Ukrainians were making and the great advances they were making. But it turned out to be a load of bullshit. They did have a little bit of a counter-attack, but they were fucked off back to that little hobble. Remember that incident that was going on around Mariupol with the Azovstal plant? Well, there's a similar plant in called the Azot plant, and that's in Severodonetsk, and it's a kind of a similar type facility. You know, it's kind of like one of those. It's a big industrial area with a big, large bunker underneath, and but it's not quite as extensive as the one in Mariupol. So it's not going to be as big a job to clear them out of there, like once the Ruskies get to the job. But I think they're on pause just at the moment. But it was just fascinating, like listening to the RTE news and they were promoting this blatant lies, you know, and I know I shouldn't be shocked by it, you know, I really shouldn't, because I know what they're like, but it's just I don't get to hear it very often, like. And, you know, like the way they were portraying these Ukrainians as these great big superheroes, and we're taking back Severodonetsk and sorting those Ruskies out. And it wasn't the case at all, you know. And I would love to be able to credit them with being so stupid, you know, that they didn't know. But they're not that stupid. They're just following the propaganda that's given out and that they're supposed to give out for that particular day. And so shock over, but it was just fascinating just to actually see it. You know, I don't watch the MSN at all. I don't have a television and haven't had for nearly 20 years now. So, and it's only by accident I ever get to see any of it, really. So,
right, okay, let's start a GoFundMe to get Jimmy a telly.
Don't be wasting your money. If you just end up getting kicked out the door like the last one. That's literally what I did with it. I kicked it out the door. You know, I'm not joking.
The only thing that's on the Ukraine side really is just propaganda, isn't it? I mean, that's all I've seen. It's just fucking propaganda and just the utter shit. I didn't even watch. I couldn't watch that Scotland game. Scotland played Ukraine, didn't they? I couldn't watch it. In fact, I think I did this. I think I
No,
caught
that-
end of it after I did this. I did that fucking thingy, that sweep show. So I just
Yeah,
came on
yeah.
for an hour, and I watched. I think I watched the last minute, and it was 2-1 to Ukraine. And I said, you look at this, look, them fucking plucky Ukrainians have held on, and then they won, and then I'd watched the last 2 minutes. He scored that goal, and I just turned it off because it was just all fucking Martin Tyler. Jesus Christ! I mean, the shit that he fucking comes up with. Supposed to be a sports commentator, not a fucking political commentator. And he's like, oh no, after all they've been through, and then and then fucking I watched the Wales game because I want Wales to fucking beat them, right?
Poor Wales, they didn't even get a chance to beat them, did they?
Well, they were fucking they beat them, didn't they? They beat them
Well,
1-0. They beat
no,
them
they
1-0.
didn't.
They went to play
You-
whoever Ukraine and Scotland played, and whoever won that went on to play Wales for placing World Cup. So Wales fucking you know what? And I was thinking to myself, there was something I saw on Twitter where this bloke had put. I mean, as an Englishman, I'm in Scotland when Ukraine game were on. I'm in Scotland, and being an Englishman, it's good to see a Scotsman actually finally having a fucking time where everyone in the world wants you to fucking lose.
Well, isn't it Dalglish that's the manager of the Scottish team?
No.
No?
Who's Scottish team? Is it Ricky Lambert? I don't know. It's not
I
Ricky
don't know.
Lambert, is it?
Whoever it is, man, whoever it is, he came on earlier in the day and he said on live TV that he hoped Ukraine would win. You know, did they throw the game?
Oh, it was Graham Sheerness. He's not. No, it was Graham Sheerness. He's not a manager. He's a pundit. He's a pundit, but he used to be a Scotland legend. He said that Ukraine should go to World Cup.
What a thing to say. You know, make a game of the damn thing. At least try to fucking win.
See, England is losing 1-0. See, this is how much I used to be a fucking football mad, right? And it's fucking England are losing 1-0. I finished my interview early, and I could have just gone and watched the second half or whatever I'd have seen. And I just aren't interested. I'd rather sit here talking to you fuckers, even you, Uni. You fucking.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah, I'm gone that way myself. Jay, I used to be big into the football, you know, and ever since all this bullshit started with the BLM and everybody taking the knee, I gave up on it. I says, no, I'm not going to watch this anymore. Fuck it.
Oh, Scotland manager is Steve Clarke. Sorry, I didn't know that. I should have known that. I shouldn't because I don't give a fuck. Don't give a fuck who fucking England manager is such a fucking pussy wanker. I'm just
I'll tell you
fucking
what,
glad.
the Russian Telegram channels went wild with delight because they were all making reference to the actual goal in the Welsh Ukraine game, and they were making the analogy that where the Ukrainians shot down their own what was it they shot down? They shot down a MiG-29 or something there a couple of days ago. And then they score an OG in the Welsh game. It's like, you know, you couldn't an OG that Wales didn't even beat them. Like it was an own goal. Like
Good header though.
Good header, yeah. Billy, you didn't have it going in the right direction.
It is. It's mental how it's gone, isn't it? Fucking you. Look, I've been around fucking Aldi today, and I'm still seeing people with fucking muzzles on, and it's driving me up fucking wall. I've got to go to. I've got an appointment at doctor's, just like an asthma clinic thing tomorrow, and I'm just dreading going in because they want me to wear a mask, and I just don't. I'm not wearing a fucking mask. You know, I've had it when I go for my blood test every week. You know, I say I'm not wearing my mask. Yeah, but there's people in here who've got cancer. Yeah, well, the COVID's not going to fucking bother them then, is it? Too bad. I says it don't fucking even exist, and I've got a fucking Article 1 at fucking NHS Constitution on my phone if you want to read it, which says it don't matter my beliefs, you've got to fucking treat me. So fucking treat me, cunt. Fucking hell. Or don't. Just refuse me and I'll go.
Well, we got some fascinating numbers there during the last few days. basically it turned out that we got some CSO, which is the Central Statistics Office over here. You probably got your own CSO. I don't know what you call it, like, but so we got some actual numbers.
Office of National Statistics, ONS.
Right, yeah. So we got the actual numbers of people who died. The ones who had no extra serious comorbidities, right? So in 2020, wait for it, 62 people died who had no serious comorbidities. And in 2021, 96 people died, basically. So we're talking about just about 150 almost, or thereabouts altogether, and half of them were over 85. Now, they shut the whole country down for that, right? Nuts, isn't it?
It is. That's what it is. It's about control. It's like, when people when they introduced a smoking ban in pubs, right? Now, everybody, everyone knew what they were going to do. But they said it were about health. They knew it were about shutting fucking pubs down, right? They wanted us on social media. They don't want us socializing. They want us socializing where they can watch us. So
Yeah.
you're not talking to somebody directly in a pub. You've got to be using some sort of their equipment to be able to communicate, to have that private conversation with your friend. That's what they wanted. They didn't want people in pubs. And for me, it were what underlined it, because I always knew it were about control, it weren't about health. But what underlined it for me is when the vapes came out, the vaping ones, right? Now they're supposed to have been people were told to do it, to vape instead of smoking because it were better for you, and then they banned that from inside pubs. And you think to yourself, well, it's not about smell, because smells like strawberry or whatever. So you're in a fucking restaurant, there's smells everywhere, or in a pub, or it's not about fucking smell. It's about control. That's all it's about. Everything's about control.
Yeah. They're trying to see how far they can push people. How compliant are they going to be? And then they'll push a little bit, and then they'll give back a little bit, and then they'll push a bit more. It's a standard technique that they use.
Yeah. What do you think, top of Dinny's head?
Top of Dinny's head. Well, about what you said, now you know how I felt, and like why I asked you that, but why I asked you that advice before.
What did you say?
Remember on Skype?
Right. What did you say on Skype?
Oh, about the mask thing.
Oh, right. What did you do anyway?
Oh,
for the benefit of the audience. For the benefit of the audience. What did you do? The fuck?
No, I mean, what did you do after? Did you take our advice, or did you?
It's not till August. It's not till August.
Oh, right. Oh, well, August still fucking. Oh, I don't know. Fucking face nappies seem to be here to stay. But like I said this is the new normal. You know, when they were talking about a new normal, they've got a new normal now. The new normal weren't supposed to be everyone wearing masks. The new normal it was fucking like not unusual to see people wearing masks. That was the new normal, so that then you have to wear them in fucking hospitals. I mean, what fucking hospitals, for God's sake? Jesus fucking Christ. You're having to fucking wear them. You're like a surgeon. Everybody's like a surgeon. He's fucking got to have a surgical fucking mask on. Fucking just up the fucking wall, man. But I can sit amongst the fucking 100,000 people at Wembley, with no fucking masks on. Nobody's smoking, like. Rob's joined us.
Hey.
Evening, Rob.
How you doing, fellas?
Are you, Robert?
Yeah, you look like the Incredible Hulk tonight. You look a bit ill, Jimmy.
Yeah, I could go for maybe I could turn into a Smurf or something.
Do you want a glass of Little Red to put some colour in your cheeks?
I'm off it. Like I don't touch anything when I'm actually on working days, so I try to stay away from it when I'm working.
Yeah. Oh, that's better. Look at that.
Oh, sorry, I'm texting. Do you know, I'm getting fucking
You're getting
Jimmy.
in touch with your feminine side now, Jimmy, aren't you? I
Eve's
can
just
see
said
that.
it.
Where's my blue color? I'm looking for blue here.
It's funny
There
when
it is,
Jason
there.
said earlier about wigs and in the courts. So really, we've been judged by a bunch of trannies for years, haven't we?
Yeah, high priests, isn't it? The high priests of the world, you know, the hidden clergy.
Yeah. And Dinny's looking a bit dodgy tonight, isn't he? You know.
Well, it's cool, man. That's obviously like he's grown his hair back, so it's obviously going to make him look different.
Yeah.
Did you send him over some of yourself? Did you?
Listen, Robert. While I've got your ear, I'm having this fucking problem when I'm going fucking swimming. I'm going swimming twice a week, and when I'm going, I'm fucking reacting to, my skin's fucking itching like fuck afterwards. Now I'm taking antihistamine, and that usually settles that. Usually only after I get out, and perhaps for half an hour after. But it can get pretty fucking bad, like, and I'm fucking scratching all the time. But I take an antihistamine, and I just wondered if I could like put on my sen after.
Has it always been like that? Whenever you've swum, or is it just recently?
Yeah, pretty much. Just no, not recently. Just pretty much all the time. I usually, because I have hay fever and stuff like that, so I've always had like been allergic to things, shitty things like fucking water and fucking grass.
Yeah, it could be that they've just got too many chemicals in the water, isn't it? I mean, it really could, because if you get the chemicals wrong, I mean, some people are more sensitive to it with their skin. I mean, obviously you shower after, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, shower after. Yeah. I shower after, and then I come home and have a shower as well.
Yeah, that's all you can do, really. But the problem is that it's like where I live in Bedfordshire. They've been fluoridating, just like over in Jimmy's land. They fluoridate the water, so there's probably fluoride in the water as well. And you're literally bathing in fluoride, aren't you? I don't know if they fluoridate. I don't know if they fluoridate the water where you are, Jason. Now,
is it not chlorine that they use?
It is chlorine. Yeah.
Yeah. That would obviously have to. Sorry, Jay.
Sorry. Just before it goes off at fucking screen, because they said it here. Principium 236 says phenoxyphedine. Jace.
Okay. Bandit Buster said, question for Robert. What were those? The Mylar bags.
How was the water? Cold?
Mylar bags.
Oh, nice, and it's all right. It's not bad. It's like room temperature when you're in water. I mean, water's different, isn't it? I mean, warm water and cold water. There's quite a difference between warm water and cold water.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing you could try is like I mean, what soap do you use? Natural soap, or do you use just gel, or like one of these gels that you get from the shop or whatever, Jason? What do you do?
I use Dove.
Yeah, you could try using something else, like maybe just a natural soap or something. Try that, I mean,
how about some sort of barrier before you actually get in? Maybe would it be a type of any sort of a barrier cream that would sort of like keep the chemicals from getting on the skin for?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It is the same pool each time, so south. Throw lard on your skin before you enter the pool. I've got some lard at all. But it's the same pool, but we did try a different pool for a couple of times, but it didn't really agree with us because it were a bit fucking unsafe. It were like an old-fashioned pool, so like to get at water level, there were like a great big fuck off, like 3 foot fucking wall between to get out. You know what I mean? From water level. So we had to get upstairs, and I'm not very good at getting upstairs. And
it's not easy, is it? With 1.5 legs, is it?
Yeah. So yeah, but we didn't really get up with that.
I made a purchase today or this week of a machine that's over 100 years old. It's a medical quackery. It's called a violet ray machine, and it's based on the old Tesla coil. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Tell us more.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, it's like it's called a violet ray machine, and they were out in the early 1900s, late 1800s, and these machines were used to heal all sorts of problems like arthritis, skin conditions, and even, believe it or not, for us three gentlemen, hair loss. Apparently, there's different attachments that you could, and when you had Clive de Carl on, Jason, he actually sells them, these machines, but he does them up. He buys them, he reconditions them and sells them, but they're quite expensive. He sells them like for 1,200 quid for the most basic thing. But I bought it fundamentally because I want to try and help my mum, because she's got spondylitis and she's got quite a lot of arthritis in her hands and stuff like that. So nothing seems to be helping her. So I want to try and use this machine on her, and see if it will help her at all, really. But yeah, it's based on the Tesla coil. I don't know. I'm reading a book about it all now, but you've got different attachments that go onto it. And apparently it encourages healing through electrical pulses. I did have a description here. I'll read you the description. The violet ray is an antique medical appliance used during the early 20th century to discharge electrotherapy. Their construction usually featured a disruptive discharge coil with an interpreter to apply a high voltage, high frequency, low current to the human body for therapeutic purposes. There you go. That's the description of it.
Wasn't it Kellogg?
Sorry, mate? What's that, mate?
I was just going to say, wasn't there a guy called Kellogg? I think in the late 1800s or early 1900s, he had a spa over in America, which was quite a rage at the time, where he had all these strange electrical contraptions that he'd use on people with problems. Like, do you remember that?
No, I don't remember that one, but I know this is also based on the other machine, the electrical machines where the Raymond Rolfe, is it, or no, Royal Rolfe, or Royal something like that, Rolfe, and he actually worked out the how to destroy cancer cells within the body, because everything vibrates at different energy levels. Yeah, so he worked it out that you could then, a bit like, like a singer, an opera singer can break a glass. Well, this guy, Royal Raymond Rife, he worked out, he invented a machine which was based on the Tesla coil machine that could actually destroy cancer cells and all sorts of other illnesses that you had within your body, and it would literally zap them and kill them dead. And of course, all his quackery and machinery got destroyed and got taken away in the history vaults as well. And what happened with these actual machines? I've actually got this coming from Canada. And what happened with these machines in about the 1920s, because they got rid of naturopathic medicine, they brought in allopathic medicine, okay, which was obviously based on oils, based on petroleum, and it was the Rockefellers through the Carnegies who brought in the medical model of allopathic medicine. And then what happened in the 1930s, 1940s, they started, there was a notice that went out from the American Medical Association to get rid of all these quackery machines, and a bit like getting rid of guns. Yeah. A bit like what they're trying to do now, like take away the guns, to You know, I mean, I see guns as people protecting themselves, right? A bit like these machines were to protect people, you know, with their own health, and that's basically what happened. They got rid of most of these Tesla violet ray machines, and now you're finding them turning up in America. You find them in Canada, etc. And they are still working to this day. So yeah, I'm looking forward to really giving it a go when it turns up. It's you know, it works on 110 volts and 220 volts. So and it's a working machine. So
Nice. Who do you think Queen wants to win between England and Germany? I mean, really?
the Germans.
Do you reckon? I mean, she might be torn. Do you reckon she's torn? Do you reckon she's got like one flag on one side and one flag on the other?
I reckon Dinny would want the Germans to win.
Oh, well, Dinny's married to her, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Come on, put it up, Jason. Put it up.
I'm putting it up now.
Put it up.
Put it up now. Dinny and his wife.
Yeah.
There he is.
There he is.
Brilliant.
After the Jubilee celebrations. That's why Dinny's not in tonight, because he's like still hungover after Jubilee.
Is he still hungover, is he?
With lizard breath.
Wasn't it curious how there were two black suns on that float for the Queen's Jubilee? Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. Where were that? That was somewhere fucking innocuous, weren't it?
I'm not sure where exactly it was, but I assume it was somewhere around wherever the parade was, and who knows?
But they're having parades everywhere. That sort of shit. That sort of shit, don't they?
Did they have a lot of celebrations where you guys were? Because where we were, they were literally advertising. They hired out the whole field, and then by within a couple of hours, they were like begging people to come along because there was only 12 people that turned up.
Yeah, nobody wanted it.
No,
nobody wants you, man.
Did you guys see the 5 soldiers that actually dropped?
Yeah, yeah. Nothing to do with the vaccines. They couldn't even blame the heat this time, could they, Jimmy?
No. It's odd, and with all this news about what's going on with the soldiers over in America, and like apparently the numbers are atrocious. I've heard some of them. I couldn't quote them, but it's really, really high percentages which are up on autoimmune problems and cancers going through the roof. Like you're talking about 2,000% up, 1,500% up on some of them. It's like really, really. And then to see 5 soldiers drop on kind of like a normal, I don't think it was very, very hot today.
It wasn't particularly hot, and did you also notice how there wasn't many chemtrails in the sky just before the celebrations?
I didn't notice that now. I only caught that story of the soldiers in passing, but I just thought it curious, The
weather stayed fine for the 2 days she showed her ugly mug.
Yeah, but it has been an unusual year weather-wise. Summer so far. Look, it's been crazy. It can't make up its mind what it's doing. It's like it's going from cold to hot.
Yeah,
really,
that's right. Yeah, it is. It's not great, is it, for the plants, Jimmy?
It's okay if you've got hardest. No, I think the plants are doing just fine. But it's just unusual, and. I decided to check out Jetstream, and the Jetstream is so chaotic at the moment. I've never seen it quite so bad, because I couldn't figure out why the hell is this happening. So it's the Jetstream basically which is causing this. And
but you do, but do you think they manipulate the Jetstream, or I think they do.
I think it's probably related to the magnetic North Pole, which is moving, and. It's supposed to get to the 40-degree mark. I think next March.
I've heard that as well. The whole that it's all flipping or something.
I don't know what it's going to do, but I've seen some interesting experiments done when sort of like a magnetic pole hits the 40-degree mark, and you see what it does to a compass. Like it just throws it into chaos, like, and it flips. Like, so it would make you wonder. I'm just wondering, is it all related? Like, you know.
Spanish Chicken says harp, but there's also another theory that it's actually power stations, Spanish, as well, that also manipulate the weather. So I think harp is almost just like one part of it, but these power stations where you see like the weather being the weather fronts suddenly moving, there's quite a lot of power stations in those areas as well, and they reckon that that's also got something to do with it. I mean, I think I sent Uni a film to watch. I forget what it was called now, about the weather and stuff like that.
Yeah, I watched that one.
Did you watch it? What did you think, Uni?
Pretty good, but it was mostly stuff I already knew.
Yeah, I'm sure it would be. Yeah.
But it's still good. It's still a good film.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of another one that 80 I think put on his channel. It's called what exactly?
What on earth are they spraying?
Yeah, that one. That's the one.
Yeah, what on earth are they spraying? Yeah.
Yeah, but I watched it. It was definitely a good doc.
Yeah,
Frankenskies as well.
Frankenskies, that's the one. That's what you watched. Frankenskies.
Yeah. I like docs like that are really informative and that don't have this like Hollywood-esque type of feeling of and just what happened after this. Except
yeah.
Hate that.
I mean, they have been. I mean, it's an open secret now. That they've been spraying. There was parts of England that they sprayed. I mean, they destroyed Linton or Lynmouth down in Devon. They did a spraying down there, and it all went horribly wrong. And then they literally washed a whole village away or a whole town away on the coast. I think that was in it.
Adi sent me a fucking picture, an article in the Bangkok, the Phuket Times or somewhere when he were in Thailand in English, and it were fucking that Phuket had asked the main government for more rain. They ordered more rain, so they were fucking, seeding clouds. They were open there, and that were fucking when Adi were allowed to go out on his own. So that was fucking ages ago. They were then.
Well, they made it snow. I mean, Max Egan shows some Australian guy in an African desert explaining how that they made it rain over there. They made it rain in the desert, etc., and how they do it, and how they seed it, and etc. I mean, that's what the Kate Bush song was all about, wasn't it? Cloud busting.
Don't know. I've never heard of it.
Have you not?
That's interesting.
As a DJ, you don't know cloud busting?
Fucking hell! I weren't paying Kate Bush, were I? I were a fucking nightclub DJ. What, in a fucking jazz bar in fucking downtown fucking?
I'm sure you know more than disco tunes, Jason. I'm sure you know some more than disco tunes.
I don't know. I didn't do it. I just didn't do it.
I think if you haven't listened to Kate Bush, especially a lot of her older, more obscure stuff, like I think you'll get a nice surprise. What an artist!
I'm too old to start listening to fucking new stuff, especially Kate Bush.
It's not. You said old stuff.
Listen, I've listened to my music. I've done my music listening to. That's done.
What's your favourite artist, Jason?
S Club 7.
Oh, nice. Reach for the stars.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I went to the very last concert on my daughter's 18th birthday. We went to Sheffield Arena and seen them. So that's my favourite band, right? And I don't care what anybody says because everyone's a fucking music snob. Because you can't say, "Oh, I like S Club 7," because then someone will go, "Oh yeah," and they'll just start talking about the Clash or fucking
great floor filler, Reach.
Shit.
Great
fucking
floor filler,
Boyd or some fucking shit like that. Everybody does. Sorry, go on.
No, it's a great floor filler, isn't it? Reach.
Reach is all right. It's a good song.
When I used to DJ, that was amazing. They always get people up and dancing.
Well, that's what they do. They're S Club 7. Anyway,
Yeah.
we've done 2 hours, and I'm doing 2 hours. So
We have.
we've done 2 hours. So I'm going to go. Thanks. Cheers, Robert. Are you going to hang around afterwards and have a chat?
I'll
with
hang
us?
around. Yeah, I'll have a chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Whilst you
I'm
get off your
assuming those
spaceship.
4 will be. So I'll put the link in if anybody's there watching.
Kate Bush is a guy.
Kate Bush, maybe a guy. So if anybody's like hanging about or wants to go, we'll be here anyway. Us 4 for a bit.
For a guy, she's fucking hot, or he's fucking hot.
You could turn for Kate Bush, couldn't you, Jimmy?
Well, yeah, I think I'd make an exception.
Right, I'll see you on Friday, and I don't know what we'll be doing then, but it'll be summer, and Jimmy will be aboard as well. So
Cheers in the chat, everyone.
Yeah, thanks to everyone who's listening. Thanks
and,
you, Nate,
and good luck. Good luck to the poor man on Friday. What a sad Bob.
Yeah. If you can help Bob, look him up on Facebook or something like that or whatever. I'll put his address under this just after we've finished all this nonsense. So thanks to everybody who's been in the chat. Thanks to everyone who's been not in the chat but listening along as well. I'm glad I'm able to share a little bit of my life with you and all these other nice people as well who we all meet. So take care. I'll see you on Friday night. Bye then.
Everyone.